Stay HOMEKINS. Here we are.
Welcome to our podcast.
Yes, we're back, guys, for another month. And who are we, you ask?
Oh my gosh, I'm Janie Haddad Tompkins.
I'm Paul F. Tompkins.
I'm an actress.
I'm a comedian.
And together, we are a married couple in Los Angeles with recording equipment that can't be stopped.
Well, that's really not true because it can and has been stopped many times.
You mean the equipment or us?
The equipment.
Oh, yeah.
Probably us too.
I guess everything can be stopped except the current state of events in the world.
Yes.
That seem to not be able to. Anyway, it's our Valentine's 2025 version of the regular free feed Stay HOMEKINS.
Correct. We're recording. Now, we refer to this as our after dinner podcast, but we are recording in the middle of the goddamn afternoon.
A little bit before dinner. It's a
very
little cheat.
strange.
We're cheating. We're cheating.
Yesterday, here's what happened. Yesterday, things piled up, and we had 2 podcasts to record, and we said, you know what? We can't do them both on the same day.
We can't do them both.
So we made...
we prioritized
we called an audible.
We prioritized the paying customers and did our bonus.
I wish you hadn't put it that way, but that is what happened.
It was an accident. It was only because our brains are so fried, and our bonus run right now is recapping Bravo's Southern Charm, season 10.
That's correct.
And literally that was all of the brain bandwidth we could muster was watching.
Let's watch these terrible people and comment on them. And we did. But now here we are.
Unfortunately. So sorry about the 24-hour delay. We do not prioritize the paying. That was just a joke.
We prioritize mental health. It's called self-care.
It's called resistance, bitches.
But yeah, this was part of resistance.
You say that, but I do think watching the Southern, because we're doing that Southern Charm thing, it's really fun.
Yes.
You have to admit, our episodes are pretty funny.
Yeah.
We're having a good time.
What? I will admit that.
I do think, you know how people say joy is resistance?
Yes.
But I also, I had this theory I posited on Blue Sky where I'm running all my ideas by everyone. And people agreed. Humor is also resistance.
Yes, it is important to... it's important to not just be aware of every horrible thing that's happening, but to also have some fun.
We're trying to have fun.
We're trying to have fun.
It's so tiring to have fun right now, personally, but I don't know how everyone else is doing.
I know, this felt like a really long week.
It was a really long month. The last time we recorded the free feed was during the Los Angeles fires, the wildfires. That was
thank God we're back in the frying pan.
Literally. And then it was the January of 2025 felt like it was every January of our lives.
Yeah.
It was the longest January.
When you think about how horrible January is anyway.
Sure.
Terrible month.
Maybe not so for the other hemisphere. Because it's warm there.
I don't care where you live.
It's
the beginning of the year.
It's also after the fun Christmas cozies.
Yes.
Or whatever y'all celebrate.
Even if you don't celebrate Christmas, there's some
cozies.
time to fuck. There's still the Christmas cozies.
There's still the Christmas cozies. And then January comes and it's haha.
Fun's over.
Yeah. It's literally Monday. It's the Monday.
Oh no, Dad got home.
Yeah, the Monday morning of the year.
Yeah.
And that one was not a great one.
Yeah.
So I guess we should fill you in on what all we've been up to since 20,000 years ago. I had the pleasure of crafting a very challenging role in a Lowe's commercial.
That's correct.
The name of the role was DIY Woman.
That means do-it-yourself woman.
Yes. By the way, worked with a lovely director. Happens to be a friend of the pod.
Holy moly, that's right.
And he was awesome.
You got to give him a shout out.
Chris.
Thank you for listening.
Names on here, or is that not cool?
Let's just keep it first.
All right, Chris.
Yeah.
Thank you for the job, number one. Number 2, it was kind of an insane job because I guess they were shooting like 4 different Lowe's commercials, and there were like 30 something actors spread around the 4 commercials.
Yeah.
And I got to play like one little, like blip in the montage as DIY woman.
You're one of the many Lowe's people that Lowe's is helping.
But what was so crazy? So I had to. The reason I'm mentioning this, besides the fact that I feel very like honored that I got to, and grateful that I got work, because it's been a real drought, as they say. People know the industry has been on
So true.
a situation. So this was like kind of a life-saving little moment to have that happen. So in the commercial, if you're looking for me, I'm standing on a ladder, installing a lighting fixture in the ceiling. My commercial husband, who, by the way, much taller than me.
So you guys are the same height, even though you're on a ladder.
Well, I did end up taller than him on the top of the ladder. But like IRL, why wouldn't he have been the one on the ladder, like one step down? I feel like it's because I'm DIY woman.
And he's just a helpless idiot.
He's just my helpless husband idiot.
You're showing him how to change a fucking light bulb. And he's like,
oh, it's not a light bulb. It's a full-on recessed lighting fixture.
God damn.
Okay. Because I'm DIY woman, I'm like, move over, taller husband. I'm getting on the top rung of this ladder,
That's
and I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So I was
Wait, were you standing on the one that says not a step?
No, I didn't have to do that.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Had me worried.
Although I got there and Chris was like, okay, so you're going to be up on a ladder. Are you okay with that? And I was like, well, I am scared of heights. So like when he tells me this, like in my mind, I don't know what he means by this.
Like you're going to be on the side of a house.
Like I could be on one of those flat ladders that those people crawl up onto the roof. Like when the guy comes to check the HVAC and he's got that like, that, what's it called? The extension. It's like a
cherry picker?
No, it's like a flat ladder, but it just stretches out.
Oh, yeah.
Like an extension.
What is that called? Extension ladder?
An extension ladder. And
I know what you mean.
And it's like literally like 20 feet tall. Like I was like, and he's like, oh no, you're scared. And I was like, no, I can do this. It's not a big deal. Because once I figured out what it was literally like a regular sized house, like doing stuff around the house step ladder. Like it wasn't that.
Yeah.
And my dumb commercial husband stood there holding the thing for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, just make sure but that was his job anyway.
Yeah.
I was like, make sure you hold this. And he was like, he had to do that anyway. Although he did have to take out.
But you were like, don't act like you're holding it. Actually hold it.
Like really hold it. But there was also.
Don't do hover hands around the ladder.
There was also like a grip I don't know what the names of the below the lines, which I should understand the different names, that was laying on the floor, like holding the ladder on underneath.
Right.
And
Movie
I forgot
magic.
why he had to lay down there to do like. There was something going. I don't know if it was just to hold the mark because it was like framed up or something. But he was like down there, like under my feet. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so like all these people are like hovering around me, and I had to screw this thing in. This is a much longer story. I just wanted to tell what happened after like a few weeks later.
Yes.
About all of this.
Mm-hmm.
But then now that I've gotten into like, I guess the magic of movie making. Oh, and it was this crazy thing too. I did tell you this because I had to look it up on the internet and tell you about it. There is this street in Van Nuys in the Valley here in Los Angeles that is like the most filmed residential
you told me about
street in the world.
Yeah.
And it's like this street of kind of like ranch style. I guess they're ranch style. Is that like one story?
Yeah.
Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Like ranch style homes with like green lawns and like,
Is it the most filmed street because it just looks like Anytown, USA?
Yes,
kind of? Yeah.
yes. Like, I guess some people call it like the Leave It to Beaver Street or something, because like this particular street in the middle of Van Nuys has been filmed like for decades.
Right.
Like, it's not like these homes aren't like new homes or something.
Right.
Like old in the sense of like Hollywood old, because it's because Hollywood's newer than.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and so this guy whose house it was that they rented out for this shoot was there. And like, we were like in this, and this house was like awesome. Like, it was big, a huge house with like a pool, and there was like a pool house and an outdoor kitchen, and with like, it was all like set up in the pool house where you do like your hair and makeup and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I was back there with my Hollywood husband and like the HMU as a department, as they call it, back there getting ready or whatever. And the guy needed to come in and get his printer and go back in the house. And so like he came, and we were like, whoa, is this your house? And he was like, yeah, I just got to grab my printer. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm in your way or whatever. And we're like, whoa. Wait a minute. Like, we're sorry. Like, we're in your home.
Yeah.
And he starts telling us about how, and because I was like, I love this pool house. Like, is it a new addition? I could tell it was like a new addition, And he was like, oh yeah, we added a couple years ago. Or whatever. Like, we just started chatting with this guy whose house it was. And I was really curious about the mindset of people who rent out their homes for location shoots, because
I am too.
Because I don't feel like I have that personality.
I absolutely would not want to do that. And I feel whenever I'm filming something that's in somebody's actual home, it feels very uncomfortable to me.
I kind of like it because I have a voyeuristic.
You're nosy.
Streak.
You're a little snoop.
Yeah. Like, I feel kind of like, I love to see how like other people live a little bit, like just a little peek behind the curtain. Also, I was like stunned at the amount of land that these homes have. Like, they're this huge, they're like 8,000 or 9,000 feet foot lots with like, I mean, there was still like yard past the pool. This guy wouldn't notice if I moved into the pool house, I think.
Well, until he has to print something.
True. Good point. He said he doesn't have to print that often. Because he's like, I don't usually use this.
Right.
Anyway, so
I just print stuff by the pool. Just pool documents.
So we were like, wow, like, do you rent out a lot, for location shoots? And he was like, yeah, and that's who told us that this was the most filmed street in America.
That guy.
The guy, the owner.
Can you trust him?
I went and looked it up on the internet.
Good.
And I
always check sources.
Yeah, and there were all these articles about it and stuff. And he said that, and we were like, "Oh, did you know that? Like, when y'all bought the house, like, how long have you lived here?" And he's like, "Yes, we did, because like the real estate agent like disclosed all of this to us. They're only like allowed to rent their house like 8 times a year."
That's so much, though.
That's what I thought. I thought that was
only 8 times. When do you? So you live there 4 months?
But like every house.
Yeah.
But think about it though. A commercial shoot is only like a few days.
True.
So this guy's like making like 8 to 10 grand in like 3 days.
I mean, good for him. Couldn't be me, but good for him.
So basically,
until things get real bad. Then we have a sign on the lawn.
But then when things are getting bad, like, they're not shooting in LA. Because he said that it's gone down.
Yeah, but I mean, somebody's always going to be shooting. You know what I mean?
I guess so. But he was like saying how the neighbor next door doesn't love this because the neighbor next door had like 8 kids or something crazy. And I was, first of all,
that's his problem, is the filming?
Yeah, I was like, why isn't he renting his house? How is he affording to feed? It was like something crazy. And so what was funny was, because the house next door doesn't rent out, the production had rented the house on the other side of the guy who doesn't like to rent out for like crafty and meals.
Oh, wow.
So we just like walked around that dude's house to get to crafty.
Wow.
Which I was like, dude is like passing like money on the, like, because the crafty setup, they don't go in your home.
Right.
They're set up in your driveway and in your side yard and stuff like that. And so he was just like telling us all this stuff, but he was saying that it had been leaner. Like there were a couple of years where he couldn't run it 8 times a year.
Yeah.
Cause like it sounded like he was definitely into renting it. Like any minute they could get.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang. But also like annoying to live on that street, I bet. Because like you're coming down that street and there's like trailers and.
Well, where we live, the streets are really narrow, and occasionally there is a production.
I know.
And it is kind of a hassle.
It is, but I love when I'm walking in the neighborhood and I stumble upon a full-on production.
I will admit I do too, and I always look to see if there's anybody I know there.
I kind of glance.
And there never is.
I glance and it's like it's never anyone I know or anyone like famous.
No, it's not.
Although I do think they did shoot, like Harrison Ford was up on the main boulevard. I didn't see him, but remember like a year or two ago, and like our neighborhood thread was like, I just saw Harrison Ford on the boulevard or whatever. And I've seen the boulevard in lots of shoots.
Yes.
But I've never really seen a famous person shooting in the neighborhood.
No, I would imagine it's a lot of short films.
But or commercials.
Yeah.
Or commercials. So like I've walked like down the street, like in the middle of Productions Crafty, like in the neighborhood. I so want to like just show up at the Crafty line.
I think about that all the time. You know, I once did that by accident when we were shooting Bajillion Dollar Properties.
I think we talked about this one.
Yeah. And I went to the wrong catering. And I realized I was looking, I have my plate with my food. I'm looking around I don't know any of these people.
Wait, no one blinked?
No.
Because they don't know.
Yeah.
They have no idea.
Yeah. I mean, the way I was dressed, I was clearly an actor.
Right.
And they were just like, I don't know, I guess this guy's in some scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I realized I don't know any of these crew. I don't know. I have no idea if there are other actors here.
Well, like we had really good Crafty on the commercial shoot. And like everyone was like raving about it. Like they were literally like, have you had this Crafty before? Or this catering. Sorry, not Crafty. Catering. Sorry, catering is what I meant to say. Crafty and catering, I guess, are different segments.
Yes.
So we had really good catering, although I did love the Crafty too. But we had really good catering. And they're like, have you had this catering before? And I'm like, no, I haven't booked a fucking job in over 2 years. I mean, I didn't say that, but in my mind, I'm like, when would I have ever had catering in the past 2 years? I've literally been underemployed for a very long time, but thank you for asking. And I'm like, no, like, I guess the recent jobs I've been on.
They were asking because they were all familiar with it?
Yes.
And they're like, oh, we lucked out. We got these people.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And then like all the crew guys. So like with the catering, it'll be like, we have a fish offering, a chicken offering, and they were doing like a burger. For
people who don't understand, there's little ceremonies that you do at lunch and film shoots where you offer a fish, you offer a chicken, you offer these to Saint Genesius, the patron saint of actors.
They had all of those, and I was like, so I was with my like commercial husband, and I'm like, oh, what are you gonna get? You know, blah blah blah. I was like, because the burger looked good, but I didn't want to eat that much food. Yeah, you know, but like all the crew guys were getting like all 3. When I was like, but I've seen that before where like they'll get 2. Like I've totally seen Surf and Turf. Yeah. That's a real crew guy thing. Yeah. But they were like for real, like getting all 3. Good for them. And I was like, damn. Fucking A. I wish I were hungrier right now. But I did the fish and it was really good. Yeah. But anyway, so my whole point in telling you about DIY woman, this is my whole point, which I understand I've gone down a lot of avenues, and I apologize.
Side streets. That's fine.
It wasn't meant to.
It's the journey, not the destination.
The other night, our CO2 alarm began intermittently beeping.
And it was, I will say, it was a very gentle beep.
It was a different kind of beep. It wasn't like, get out, get fresh air,
Yeah.
call the 911 beep. It was like, your battery is low beep.
Yes.
Kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. And so you started scrambling for like batteries. I scrambled for the ladder or whatever. I climbed up on the ladder, removed the CO2 alarm from the ceiling. You came to the ladder, held the ladder, gave me the battery, and it was life imitating art.
It's so true.
And I stood there and I said, oh my God, Paul, this is exactly what I did in the Lowe's commercial. And you're like, oh, really? Because you didn't know.
That's right.
And I said, except at the end, once I put it on the
Yes.
once I screwed in the ceiling unit,
Yeah.
I looked up at the ceiling unit and smiled and nodded in an expression of self-satisfaction.
Didn't you also put a hand on your hip?
Well, I don't
As if
remember
to enjoy a job well done.
Now I don't remember if I did it in the commercial, but I definitely did it the other night. When I
You
was
did
like
do it the other night.
demonstrating. I
Yeah.
put my hand on my hip. I looked
up at it like,
I smiled and I nodded like, yeah.
It worked.
Literally my favorite acting job maybe I've ever done. Other than that time I appeared on Hacks in a scene with Gene Smart, which was one of my favorite acting scenes I've
You
ever
gave
done.
life to DIY Woman, and
then DIY Women gave life to me.
boy, that's so true, and helped us keep our insurance. And of course, that Lowe's commercial will be part of Lowe's Dark Universe series of commercials.
Don't
These
get me
are
in trouble
gritty.
at Lowe's.
Now, here's what I've been doing,
Yes, tell us everything.
and I was very excited. I filmed an episode of Dropout TV's Very Important People,
Yes.
which is a show where it's hosted by an extremely funny comedian named Vic Michaelis.
I do think we should rewind a little because some people, I don't know if they're familiar with Dropout TV, even though we may have referenced it before.
Yeah, it's a streaming platform. I know I've recommended it on here before, but it's a really independent streaming platform, and they have really built their own really nice corner of the world and huge followers. Like they do a lot of different shows. It's a comedy platform.
Comedy only.
And it's spun out from College Humor. It's a lot of people that worked on College Humor.
And it's all improv.
No, it's not all improv. Well, I mean, it's not scripted, but it's not all comedy improv.
There's some game show stuff.
There's some game
and
show
panel
stuff. There's also a lot of role-playing games, like D&D type stuff.
Okay.
Which is extremely popular to the point where they have sold out Madison Square Garden doing...
What's the name of that show?
That is Dimension 20, I believe, is like the flagship show. I mean, think about that. That's fucking insane.
It's amazing.
Madison Square Garden.
It's really cool.
More than once, by the way.
Well, but D&D has been around for decades.
It has, yeah.
Like my brother played it when I was a kid.
Absolutely.
And my friend Samantha's kid's story plays it.
Yeah.
And they get together every week. And
No, it's been around since the 70s, I think.
Yeah, so if you think about that in terms of like an enduring kind of property in a way.
But there's a difference between that. This is like if they sold out Madison Square Garden playing Monopoly. You know what I mean? Monopoly's been around for a while.
So wait, is this a show? It's a show?
Because of the nature of the game, there's a lot of performance aspects to it.
And there's a comedy element.
Yeah, because they're all funny people.
Okay.
But I mean, people get caught up in these stories because the campaigns, as they call them, take place over multiple episodes.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of different storylines and everything that people get wrapped up in. So it's more than just watching people play celebrity or something. There's a narrative to it.
Which was a game show hosted by Jane Lynch on a major network where people played celebrity, or it was Pictionary or something.
Yeah, Hollywood Game Night.
It was something like that. So there was sort of like they've done like games on television.
No, of course
before.
they've done games on television forever, but this is a different type of thing.
Okay,
is what I'm saying.
So
that it's extraordinary that that it's built up to this level is.
Yeah, I think
wild.
It's incredible. So Dropout TV is a streaming platform you can find on anywhere you find streaming apps.
Yes,
and it's a subscription service in the vein of like.
I think people get
a Netflix or whatever. Yeah. So Very Important People is another one of their flagship shows, wouldn't you say?
I think it's become one of their top shows for sure. And it is the premise of the show is Vic will interview other comedians, and the hook is that the comedians are put in this elaborate makeup that they can't see what they're going to be.
So good.
Until it's all done.
I'm laughing because I've seen the episode already. So
yeah. Then it's revealed to them. They stand in front of a mirror and they are allowed to finally open their eyes and they see what they look like. And then they have to determine what character they're going to be based on how they look.
It's sort of like a I guess Charlie Rose interview style is not right. It's a little more like a Dick Cavett style interview of a crazy character.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Either one I think applies.
Yeah.
And then it's all improvised. And, Vic asks questions.
Tell the audience the name of your character.
So I got to do it. I've been a fan of this show and really enjoyed the first season. And Vic is a friend of mine, so I'm writing them and saying, this is so good. This is so good. Not trying to angle to get on the show, but I obviously was like, I would love to do this. And so then second season, they asked me to do it. And the first step was I did a life mask, which is where you go in, and I still don't know what I'm going to be. And life mask, you go in, they put a bunch of, for lack of a better term, plaster on your face. They take a mold of your face.
Okay.
And that enables them to craft prosthetics to put on you so that they will fit on your particular face.
Okay.
So the whole time I'm doing that, I have to keep fighting the urge to ask, what am I going to be? Because the whole point is I don't know what I'm going to be. And I had to stop myself, I want to say 25 times from asking that question. And they also take measurements of you, which ended up not really mattering for what I was in. They take every conceivable measurement of you. It was wild.
Like manually or like?
Yeah, manually. Tape measure. Yeah. It was wild. It was really wild.
Is it because they can't do fittings on you?
Yes, exactly.
Because otherwise, they would have you in the studio or in the costume shop.
They know in advance what I'm going to be, but they're also taking measurements that they know they don't really need.
Oh, so you're not like, I bet this is only like a head and not a bodysuit.
Yeah.
Like that.
Exactly. So the day of the shoot, which is a few weeks later, I go into the trailer, and the trailer, they have not only covered up the mirrors, but they've covered up every reflective surface in the trailer. I took it behind the scenes. I will have to post it. So you can't even see yourself in the reflection of like a doorknob or something. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So I'm waiting in there, and
that's like crazy.
Yeah, I know. They over prepared just in case. Which I think was really smart and really funny. It was really funny to see all this shit covered up. Like the base of a stool that was like chrome had tape all over it. So I go into makeup, and really you're on the honor system to keep your eyes closed the whole time.
Sure.
And they also try to fool you by, I don't think they did it as much with me, but I know that they did it in the first season. By talking, like alluding to things that they're doing
a different way or something.
Yeah, they're saying we need this or whatever. And it's like, it has nothing to do with what they're doing. So,
this is like a crazy psyop or something.
It really is. Yeah, in a way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a long process of putting all this makeup on me. And
And like your costume was so full bodied, it was insane.
Yeah. The last thing they did.
Are you wearing like underwear only underneath, or what are you
I'm wearing like a bodysuit.
Okay.
Yeah. The last thing they did was they put these big lenses over my eyes. So I could tell, okay, there's some sort of structure on my head.
Yeah.
That there's sockets that these lenses fit into. And then when I saw myself in the reaction videos online, it was so crazy because the thing is, the whole time you're trying to figure out, what am I?
Yeah.
You know? And so they're putting all this stuff on. You can't really get a sense of that. It's like, oh, something on my upper lip. Oh, this feels kind of fuzzy. So maybe I'm an animal of some kind.
Okay.
You know, you're really trying
but
to.
Sometimes the characters they come up with are like creatures, like that don't exist in real life. I mean,
yes, exactly. Sometimes they're humanoid. Sometimes they are people. Sometimes they're, whatever. It's really a wide ranging, spectrum of things that you can be. And so when they were putting this sort of what felt like a sort of shell over me, for 1 second I was like, oh, maybe I'm a turtle.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I think I thought I was possibly a turtle up until the very last
But then when
moment.
you saw it and you were so not a turtle.
Yeah. I was not a turtle. I was a big blue alien looking thing. I had big black eyes and then a bunch of little eyes on either side of my head.
It was really funny.
It was really funny. And
it was
so then I have to figure out, okay, what am I going to be?
Too.
Yes. And I have to figure out what am I going to be. And
how long do you have to figure that out? Like, are they like, okay, we're ready to go?
No, they give you a decent amount of time. There's no clock on it, but it is like you're aware that you have to come up with something.
Okay.
And so you try different things, different voices, whatever. And then
and does Vic, the host, know what you're going to be?
Vic knows what everybody's going to be beforehand and has some input on assigning costumes to people.
Okay.
And Vic told me that when they saw that costume, that they said that should be Paul.
Really?
Yeah.
That makes me curious about what the other costumes are for the season.
The ones I've seen so far are really wild. There was Chris Red was like a cyborg type of guy. So he had all these, he was like a robot, but he had his half of his face was human, and he had like blinking lights and shit like that. What are some of the other really wild ones? Kimia Bapornia was like this crazy, almost like Shakespearean witch,
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's they get really wild with it. And then like Jacob Okasaki was this really sleazy dude. He was wearing a white suit and he had like a bad comb over and, a deep fake tan.
So his was humanoid.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you determine where you want to go with it, and then they don't really tell you what to do, but they will, if you have an idea, they will say, you know what, that sounds good. Why don't we go with that?
So you tell them before they start shooting, like, this is my angle.
Yeah, you're there with the producers and the director, and you are like figuring it out. Like, okay, how about this voice, whatever. And then I finally arrived on, well, maybe I'm a big bug. Because I knew they had done an alien in the first season.
Okay.
And I was like, well, I don't want to just be another alien. So I'll be, it also looked very insectoid to me.
Yeah.
So I was this big, slimy, blue thing, and I made up a type of bug that I was.
And his name is?
His name is, his name is David Hoyle Jr.
David Hoyle Jr.
And it was a really,
I love David Hoyle Jr.
I know. I was very nervous about it before it came out, because when you're doing it, first of all, with improv,
it's gotta be like an out of body experience.
Yeah, it's very strange.
The whole thing.
It's such a weird thing because
like you've been kidnapped and like released.
Yeah.
Kind of. Like, yeah.
Because you are. Because you're not yourself, and because you have, in this case, I had limited mobility, limited vision, and I couldn't hear that well. because it's a whole headpiece that's on me and no ear holes or anything. I really had to focus in a way that I don't really have to focus normally doing improv. Like, of course, improv, you have to listen. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
But this was like hanging on for dear life. Like, I'm trying to hear every single every single thing that you're saying. And also be conscious of the fact that I can't move. So if I can't move that much, because my arms are just sticking out of this thing, yes, then what can I do to be physically funny? You know, how can I make the costume work? Right. And that was where I got good advice from Zach Oyama, who's really funny, was on my favorite episode from the first season, because he had a really wild costume. And I said, do you have any advice before I do this? You know, before I even went in, you know, to shoot it. And he gave me great advice. He said, like, remember that you're going to look crazy and that, you know, let the costume do some of the work for you. And, you know,
it's like mask work in theater,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And that was really helpful to remember what I looked like, you know, and so I could use that to my advantage. So that you could have reactions to things and knowing that this will be funny to act sort of insulted or hurt or whatever while I look like this.
Totally.
You know, to do like a physical take or something. But I really had a good time while I was doing it, but anytime we would break, I would be like, is this funny at all? You know, I would get instantly in my head about it as soon as we broke.
But it was so funny.
I was very happy with the way it turned out. I really was.
It was so funny.
Yeah, I was very pleased with it.
David Hoyle Jr., like... David Hoyle Jr. has some issues, which I think are like awesome.
Well, he lives in the shadow of his father, Big Davey Hoyle.
Yes.
But yeah, so that finally came out. I was really happy with it, and people have been very positive about it. And yeah, that was like a really cool thing that I got to do.
Well, I think people should seek it out.
Yes, Dropout TV. Check out the clips on my Instagram, on Dropout's Instagram. Very important people.
Instagram.
We should take a break.
We need other avenues than Instagram.
Boy, that's the truth.
All right, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
Oh, hello. It's Paul reminding you that I am going on tour. I wasn't lying about it, and it's really true. Varietopia, my variety show, which combines comedy and music, and you know, fun stuff. It is heading out on the road this spring, starting in late April. And let me tell you where we're going to be, because it's exciting. Iowa City, USA, St. Paul, Minnesota, Madison, Wisconsin, Chicago, Illinois, Royal Oak, Michigan, Lakewood, Ohio, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, New York City, Boston, Massachusetts, Philadelphia, PA, Washington, D.C., Durham, North Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia, Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington, and Vancouver, Canada. And that's just the beginning. We're going to be hitting some other places later in the year. Go to paulftompkins.com/live and you will see all the dates and ticket links. Don't forget that I love you.
And we're back. Wait.
What?
I said back, and you said back.
Back in time.
Wow,
remember?
Guys, that was our little, yeah. Was it Huey Lewis?
Huey Lewis in the News.
Huey Lewis in the News.
Back to the Future.
Oh, yeah.
How much do you remember about that movie?
Okay, here's what I remember. There was a DeLorean.
Yes.
He wakes up, he has a weird sleeping position. Do you remember Michael J. Fox has a weird sleeping position?
No. What?
Yeah.
Describe.
He's like, he kind of like, his character like sleeps like kind of like on his stomach, like with one arm under him and his neck like up.
Oh, that's sort of familiar.
So we meet him in the present and like his current family and all that.
Yeah. And
then I don't know how it happens. Oh, he's friends with this guy, Doc, who's crazy.
That's right.
And that's Charles Chuck. Is Chuck C?
No,
C?
no.
Christopher. That is a C.
Yeah, that's a C. Sorry.
Christopher, not Nolan.
Nope.
Christopher.
I know that you know.
Christopher, give me the first letter.
Oh.
Lloyd.
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd is his quirky...
Reverend Jim himself.
Yes, so he's a quirky friend, and he's always inventing things.
Yes.
And he's like... But, like, Michael J. Fox's character is kind of having a hard time in high school.
I guess.
Or something.
Is he having a hard time?
There might have been, like, a bully and, like, someone he was interested in that didn't like him back, or he had a breakup or something.
He has a girlfriend.
Okay, wait, I'm going to tell you everything else. Wait,
okay.
Why are you asking me this, by the way?
Because when I was doing the Neighborhood Listen podcast last season,
yes,
somehow Back to the Future came up.
Yes.
And Nicole Parker started describing the stuff that happens in the first 5 minutes of this movie.
Okay.
And I was like, what are you talking about? Because I realized I'd seen this movie.
Never seen it.
I saw it once in theaters when it came out when I was a kid.
Okay.
Never saw it again.
I think the same.
So I listened to the things that I remembered. Like, I remember the basic plot.
I know that Doc, like, invents a time machine.
Yes.
In a DeLorean.
That's correct.
And it was like, and there were rules to the time travel. Like, if the clock struck a certain time, you had to be back before a certain time. There was like a town square clock.
There was a town square clock.
And the clock, like, you would set it and you had to be at a certain place or whatever. And I don't think Michael J. Fox was the one who was meant to go back in time. I feel like he, like, accidentally went back in time. That, like, Doc was going to go back in time or something.
Yeah, you know what? I don't remember that either. I don't remember if they both went and Doc just hid somewhere, or if Marty goes back by himself.
No, I think Doc has to come back to get him, to retrieve him. Because he goes back in time, like, alone or something.
Right. And can he only be there for a certain amount of time or something?
Well, no, he's, like, we're led to believe he's, like, stuck back in time.
Okay.
Like, that he's there and he doesn't know how to, like, it's like the clock, like, he's like, this is a problem now.
Right.
And he doesn't fully understand he's back in time right away. He just sort of like looking around, and he wakes up and things are a little off.
Yeah.
And then he ends up in the home of his mom.
That's right. Who has the hots for him?
Leah Thompson.
Yes.
Leah Thompson plays the mom. And then, but in the back in time, she's like his age.
Yes.
So they're like, and I think there's like even stuff at the beginning of like, gosh, when I was your age, I didn't do X, Y, and Z or whatever.
And she's falling in love with him, which is endangering his future, because if she doesn't get together with his father, then he will never have been born.
He won't exist.
The picture fading away and all that shit.
Oh, wait, I had to put something in the oven. Keep vamping.
So
sorry.
There's the bully is Biff, but he's in the past. Marty McFly. He plays the guitar at the prom under the sea, Enchantment Under the Sea. He somehow gives advice to his dad and makes him punch the bully in the face. Take your damn hands off her. Remember Crispin Glover?
But also he was never going to get with the mom, kind of. Like, he was like Crispin Glover.
The dad? Yeah, he was a dork.
Crispin Glover, who is the dad.
And he had a big crush on the mom.
Yes. And so, like, now Michael J. Fox is in the position of, like, oh, I also remember this. He is wearing Calvin Klein underwear.
That's right.
And he doesn't know what to say his name. Or no, he wakes up in her room or something in a time travel state. And it said Calvin Klein. It said Calvin Klein on his underwear.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, here are your clothes, Calvin."
Yeah.
Because she thinks like the name of his name in his underwear is his name.
That's right.
And so he's having to like go. It's a very.
That was one of the things I remembered too.
It's actually a very clever screenplay that I also feel like the cast is like, I mean, was a magical cast. I mean, that was just an amazing cast.
It was a great cast. Yeah. I feel like I kind of don't want to watch it again because I don't think it would hold up. I
don't agree with that.
We did do a watch along.
Wait, you did?
The Neighborhood List, we did a watch along with the first 5 minutes.
So what happens in the first 5 minutes?
The first 5 minutes, we meet Marty. His day starts. He's late for school, whatever. He goes, he doesn't realize he's late for school yet. He wakes up. He goes over to Doc's house. Doc is away somewhere.
Does it explain why he's friends with Doc or what their relationship is about? Because there's a huge age gap.
That's a good question. I don't think so. I think they are friends by proximity because I think Doc is a neighbor. I think he lives pretty close.
Okay. They have a very cute friendship.
Yeah, absolutely.
Friendship in it.
Yeah. But I don't remember if there's any origin story about. Remember when we first met? You know what I mean?
Right. But he is a high school kid and he's hanging out with this eccentric retired dude.
Yes. He's not retired. He's a full-time mad scientist.
He's a full-time inventor. Yeah, he's like a mad scientist. Yeah. Yes.
And so he realizes that Doc calls him on the phone at Doc's laboratory because Marty's like, where is Doc? And then Doc calls. He goes, Doc, where are you? And Doc's off doing his experiments. This is, of course, the time travel experiment. We also find out via the TV some plutonium has gone missing.
That's right. The plutonium is what makes it work.
Yes, Doc has stolen the plutonium.
Which is insane.
It's a felony. It might be a war crime.
And also they're just handling it in a barn or whatever, in a garage or whatever.
So Doc has set the clocks back or something, so then Marty realizes, oh no, I'm late for school. But the thing that triggered all of this was Nicole talking about Marty turning the volume up on the guitar amplifier and it being so loud that it blasts him into a bookcase. And I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah, it did not sound familiar to me at all.
It sounds very 80s to me.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Because we were all getting into stereo and hi-fi.
But Doc says, I fixed your, I souped up your amplifier, so test it out. And that's what happens.
That's very funny.
That's the first 5 minutes.
That's a good visual gag.
It's a good visual gag. It's very cartoony.
I think it would stand up. Now, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on people spray painting penises on Cybertrucks?
I'm laughing for 2 reasons.
Okay.
First, that was a sentence that you just said. And second, I guess that means that people are doing this?
Wait, you didn't know about this?
No, I've not heard about this.
Wait, what?
I've not heard about this, and I want to say I endorse it 1,000%.
It's so funny to me.
Yeah.
I understand vandalizing someone's property is an illegal act.
I think that it is small potatoes compared to what Elon Musk is doing.
I know, but
I also feel like Cybertruck is different than Tesla. Tesla, people were like,
100.
Oh, I didn't know. I found out later what a piece of shit this guy was.
People are getting rid of their Teslas.
Yes, I know that too.
They're selling back their Teslas.
Yes.
No one's going around spray painting penises on Teslas.
Anybody who bought a Cybertruck knew exactly who Elon Musk was and thinks he's cool.
I mean, I have no idea because I don't know anyone that owns a Cybertruck. And when I see them,
that should tell you all you need to know.
They're weird.
Yeah, they're stupid.
What if someone owns a Cybertruck who's listening to this?
Guys, get rid of that Cybertruck. Elon Musk is a piece of shit.
Wait, I thought maybe you saw because there's people spray painting penises on which I think is actually, it's a work of art in a way because there is a whole if I'm driving and I'm with one of my friends,
yeah,
and a Cybertruck cuts in front of me, I'm gonna turn to my friend and say, "God, I'm sorry, your penis is so small."
You're saying you're going to do that, not to your friend, of course.
100. There's no chance in hell that I'm not going. I'm not going to reference a Cybertruck out in the wild to my friend in the car and be like, "God, I'm sorry, your penis is so small."
Yes, I understand.
Like, that's just going to happen.
Right.
So the idea of someone, and like they do it in like one line, like
the classic,
like the the swoop,
Yeah.
this thing,
classic.
and then a line
The classics
at the
never go out of
top,
style. Of course,
to slash at the top.
Yes.
To like a cartoon penis.
Yes. It's the classic QuikDik.
The what dick?
QuikDik.
It's a QuikDik?
This was a term coined
Okay.
by me and Matt Walsh a million years ago.
Matt Walsh, UCB Matt Walsh?
Yeah. A million years ago at McManus, that pub in New York that all the comedy people would go to.
I don't even know about this.
Somehow we got onto this discussion of graffiti dicks.
Sure.
Like being in dressing rooms and stuff like that. And so then we were practicing drawing them on a coaster.
Oh my God.
And it was the exact thing that you're talking about. And we dubbed it the QuikDik.
Wait, this is you just dislodged a memory. It's a good memory. I don't know if I should share it with the universe.
It's a good memory, but you don't know if you should share it.
Well, it's like a personal memory.
Oh, okay. Like it might not be yours entirely to share.
No, it's not that. It's like in a lockbox memory.
That's
Of like
only
a
you
happy
can make
memory.
that call, I guess.
I'll do some broad strokes.
Okay.
A wonderful trip with family friends to the mountains with my mom and my stepdad, who's no longer with us, and some really funny people, just one of those, like, you're playing board games and we were playing Pictionary and my mom and I were on the same team.
I think I remember this story. Yeah.
And for some reason, the clue included like drawing a QuikDik.
Right.
But when everyone went around the room at the end, we got the clue like right away or somehow. Our QuikDik was so ginormous compared to everyone else's like version of the thing.
Right.
That many jokes ensued and many like hilarious, like whatever.
That's wonderful.
You dislodged a memory.
That's wonderful.
You dislodged a beautiful and precious QuikDik memory.
Honey, you did the same to me. Don't you realize? It's like the gift of the Magi. The thing that I saw that people were doing with Cybertrucks, like it was the day after Elon Musk gave a full-on Hitler salute.
Yeah, Hitler.
At the inauguration celebrations, and
only laughing because it's tragically terrifying.
It's insane that this is happening.
Yes,
but somebody made up a document you could print, like a card you could print.
Okay.
And said, start putting this under people's windshield wipers that have
that's
Cybertrucks.
Not vandalism. So that's like a softer, little soft note. So, and what was it?
It was just it was a photo, like an image of Elon Musk giving that salute.
But I don't like that, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because that, to me, like if the person who owns the Cybertruck thinks that Elon is amazing,
but here's the thing.
It's not going to land in their lap that way.
It might, because the first thing all these people were trying to do was deny that that's what he did. People are trying to rationalize it. They're trying to say that's not what it was.
I think some of them probably didn't need to do that.
Oh, no. Some of them were like, hooray, of course. Of course.
And another one of his fucking offspring was discovered online or announced online. So what is that? Where he's up to 12 that we know of?
I think 14.
This man is so fucking vile and disgusting.
He truly sucks.
To me.
He truly sucks.
And he's not been approved by the Congress or the Senate to be in any fucking position in the government.
No.
He did not run for an office.
No, it's
insane. And no
insane.
one voted for his name on a ballot.
No.
And the fact that he is like running around is
He's not even from this country.
It's treasonous and it's horrifying.
It is. The thing that really is so horrible is that we are living in the ultimate end game of capitalism, of Western. This is
but with a coup, though.
But
so
that's part of it. But that's part of it. That's part of it. Is that this is what, when you have a society that is built on the phrase, he makes more money than you do, then this is ultimately what's going to happen. Is you're going to elect somebody like Donald Trump. You're going to have somebody like Elon Musk going around doing all this shit.
I don't even understand. This is what I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Elon Musk bought Trump for it was like 280 million, 250, 280 million. That's the budget of like a blockbuster movie.
Yeah.
So that doesn't track to me. Like, it only took that much. Like, we could have GoFunded me. I guess we were because we kept getting those text messages and I was giving $5 here, $5, whatever. But we still couldn't buy it.
Yeah.
Did it need to be like one person's wallet?
To
be like a focus, like too many cooks in the kitchen or something?
I mean, it's not.
No one should be buying anything. And I think money in politics is really the root of this whole thing.
And it's not just the money. I mean, money in politics is the root of the whole thing. But also, there's a lot of hatred in this country. There's a lot of racism in this country. There's a lot of misogyny in this country. We can't pretend that all this stuff is not a factor. But the thing is, it's all of that. It's a perfect storm of the worst of everything coming together and saying, let's do this.
Well, all I know is that I don't see it like going toward a positive place. Like,
honey, neither do I.
Like, you don't just like destroy things and you're like, I fixed all the problems. I fixed everyone's problems.
No,
by,
you
like,
just
taking things away, like destroying things.
They're
it's like,
only
no.
Because they're not actually trying to fix anything. They're not trying to help anyone except themselves. And here's the thing where I'm at now is I want to be aware of everything that's going on, but also it's so much, and it is, the thing you have to fight is being demoralized because that's what they're counting on.
Well, I have like ways I'm curating my news intake.
Yeah.
But I know I can't listen to it out loud in the house because you refuse to listen to it.
Because I'm trying to avoid listening to Trump's voice?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't even like to say his name.
No.
Donald. Dude, he's so like, he has like dementia. Like he's
he's fucked up.
He's cognitively impaired.
Yeah.
Like I had watched some of the press conferences or whatever, and he cannot answer. He can't form a full sentence.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know what they're asking him sometimes. And I'm like, what in the hell?
Yeah. I mean, he's not going to get better.
I guess I was wrong because I thought Biden was cognitively not up to 4 more years. And I guess I guess people want the cognitive decline. Like that's the thing that sells. You know how they say sex sells?
Everybody likes their own cognitive decline.
Cognitive decline apparently sells. It's a real hot sizzle.
I know.
Sizzle thing.
I know.
And I just am like so disgusted by it because there are smart people who actually genuinely do want to help make things better.
Yeah.
Like there are people who are natural problem solvers.
I know, but nobody listens to them. And we are fucked up we're hamstrung by our own party, which is extremely frustrating. And what's really frustrating, it's frustrating that they're not doing anything.
You blame the party, but I blame the construct, and I'll tell you why. Because it's like electoral college screws us, number one, and also like not having a system to let more parties emerge.
Of course. But here's and that's a big thing, of course, that we only have 2 parties and there's too much overlap between them. I'm not one of these people that thinks they're exactly the same.
Please
not.
don't, because they're not even close.
There are many demonstrable differences. However, the overlap is money, and that fucking sucks.
But
that's keeping things from progressing.
Well, that's money. Well, there's a glitch in our recording. It did not like us talking about politics.
Who does?
I
don't even like us talking about politics.
I accidentally bumped the thing. We were going to go off about money and politics. Guess what, guys? It sucks, okay? That's the thesis. That's the thesis.
I don't think that it has to be inevitable. And I think that it's corporate money, looking for its own interests. And I think that there has to be a way to do it without accepting that money. And maybe when this all falls apart, that's where we're going to find ourselves.
I don't think there is a way to do it without accepting that money. I think that once they allowed, like, the whole Citizens United bullshit or whatever, and lobbyists, there's no, like,
Yeah, I know.
That's the problem.
I know, but I
there should be like shit outlawed. There should be shit outlawed.
But while there is these laws in place, it doesn't help morale or victory by having our side participating in that and not doing more than they're doing right now. And I'm not blaming the party for everything, how we got here, but I'm saying the thing that frustrates me is we spent how many years saying democracy is on the line. You have to vote because democracy is on the line. And this guy is like a fascist. This guy is whatever. And now that this fascist is actually in power, you want to blame people who didn't vote? I get it. You want to blame people who voted for Trump? Of course. You want to blame our leaders who didn't do more? Because if you're saying democracy on the line and now these guys are destroying everything.
The fascists, you mean?
Yeah, and you are fast tracking these confirmation hearings. You are...
What, you're talking about like John Fetterman or whatever? Who's like messed up in
No,
the
I'm talking
brain?
about fucking Chuck Schumer.
Oh, well, he needs to go.
That
guy needs to go.
So many of them, so many of these people are absolutely the poster for term limits.
But do you think, here's what I'm wondering, because those guys who I don't agree with, and I think friction is the, like gum up the works, right? Because we are in the minority.
At every turn.
They have the whatever branch.
At every turn they should be
I get that.
Fucking shit up.
But I think where the ideological difference comes because those particular guys that you're referencing are like political type animals or whatever. Yeah. In their minds, because they're playing by an old playbook.
Yes.
They're like, we're going to let these clowns screw up the economy and then we're going to get our people in.
I think they are thinking that.
And I think that's not a good way to be thinking in this particular era.
They really are acting like this is just politics as usual.
They're like, oh, when we have the House majority, when Republicans are in the office, president, it swings back like every 2 years or this, you know what I'm saying? So they're looking at this as if like a belt, like it's the regular thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like no one, like wake up and smell the coffee, people.
Yeah.
Remember saying wake up and smell the coffee?
Wake up and smell the coffee.
Who said that?
I don't know.
It's so good.
I hope they are credited in Bartlett's familiar quotations.
It's so good. Wake up and smell the coffee. I love it. I'm not even high. I haven't had anything
Credit
to drink.
where credit is due. Wake up and smell the coffee is a great slam.
I'm roasting potatoes. That's why I had to run to the oven. We're going to a friend's potluck. That's why we couldn't do after dinner.
Yeah.
Because we're leaving the house. Some friends of ours are having a good old-fashioned 1970s potluck. Okay?
Yes, we're putting our keys in a bowl.
It's the day after Valentine's Day. We were instructed. It's a red themed. It's a red themed dinner. Oh shit! I have to turn on the stove.
Okay. Well, we should wrap it up anyway.
Wait, I wanted to tell people about the dinner.
Oh, then go ahead. Do you want to do that or do you want to go to the stove? Look, you can't do all these things at the same time.
You tell about the dinner, I'll go turn on the stove.
All right. I don't know how much more there is to tell. It's a red-themed dinner. So there's going to be all red food. We're going to be eating red food. So we're bringing cabbage, red cabbage and red roasted potatoes.
It's a red cabbage. It's like a braised red cabbage.
Braised red cabbage. I'm trying to think of what other red foods there are.
Green apple.
Green apple?
Well, I peeled the green apples.
What? Oh, the apples are part of the cabbage?
Yeah.
Okay.
The green apples are peeled.
Understood.
But the recipe required like a tart apple.
Right.
And so
there you go.
the green
It don't get much tartar than a green apple.
And then so it's like a braised red cabbage, which I have to reheat. And then I'm roasting some red potatoes. I did sprinkle some paprika.
Is that also red?
Yes.
Okay. Why are you mad at me?
So and so we're gonna take it, and we're supposed to wear it, and then the other couple is bringing Negroni.
Yeah, the famous food.
It's a cocktail.
Booze.
Oh, and a beet salad, I think.
This is what we're having for dinner? We're having cabbage, beet salad,
Red
potatoes, and Negronis. Jesus.
No, wait.
Christ.
No, because Leah.
This is a mistake.
No, because they're like throwing steaks on the grill.
Okay. They have to be pretty rare.
Look, first of all, it's the day after Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So it's odd that we're honoring.
None of this makes sense, and we shouldn't be doing it.
No, it's really weird. It was a very like hampering potluck assignment. Because I was like, what is red? Like, I did want to bring sides. I love taking sides.
Yeah.
Because, like, sides, I mean.
I love taking sides.
Sides are where it's at.
Yeah, you don't like to be neutral. All right, look, we got to wrap this up.
Wait.
Let's wrap it up.
No, we're having so much fun.
I know, but we got to go.
We don't have to leave yet. I'm just. All right, fine.
From the podcast.
There is balsamic vinegar in the braised.
You got it out of her. Happy?
That was part of it, and it makes it more red. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've done your homework. Nobody can say you didn't.
I did my homework.
Do this. Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, this is our February. This was a very weird episode in my personal opinion.
It was.
Because the energy, the vibes, a little outside of our regular brand.
Vibes are off, gang. Vibes are off.
Because we were not after dinner. It was a before.
It's true, which is very rare for us.
And I think our daytime selves are a little more contained. A little more contained than our nighttime selves.
Well, let history be the judge.
But I am glad that we got out the episode.
Yes.
And I'm sorry that was a day late. And I did not mean to make that joke at the beginning about prioritizing the other subscribers.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bad about.
We'll be back for a March episode. In the meantime, if you'd like to subscribe to our Substack, you can get access to the paid content, which right now is our Southern Charm recap reaction podcast. And there you go.
There's also behind that paywall all of our movie watch-alongs and our other recap television podcasts.
So true, bestie.
Now, wait. Do we also tell people that we're going on... You have been hired.
That's right. I'll be one of the performers on the JoCo Cruise 2025.
Which is a Jonathan Colton cruise.
It's a Jonathan Colton joint?
Not Joe Coy. When I told some friends, they were like, Paul's performing on
Not Joe Coy, but JoCo. Jonathan Colton.
JoCo Cruise.
Yeah.
So when we come back in March, we're going to have lots to talk about because it will be my first time on a cruise.
That's correct.
So, but until then, everyone, please stay
safe.
Wait. I really want to say this for real because these parting words to me freaking are needed.
Now
right
more than ever.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Stay safe, stay sane, and stay strong.